Just the Judge goes in. True Story. Hubstar moves up and Main Sequence goes in. So the field is set. The Dubai-UAE Classic. Starting almost at the winning post. The gates are back and Main Sequence seemed to bubble at the start. He was last to hit the ground. Sheikh Zayed Road not showing a great deal of pace. One and Only came out quickly and Just the Judge is rushing forward. Dolnaya holding the rail as they go towards the first turn. Flinchy is settling fourth in front of Hubstar. True Story. Main Sequence now pushing up in the middle. Sheikh Zayed Road is second last and Designs on Rome had dropped out to the tail of the field as they make the turn out of the straight. Just the Judge ran the first 400 metres in 26.7 and takes them to the back of the track. Leading by 2 lengths over Dolnaya. One and Only a length away third, edging up a little closer. A length and a half to Flinchier, followed by Hubstar. Then True Story, Main Sequence, Sheikh Zayed Road, and Designs on Rome will have to come from last as they're down the back going past the mile marker. 800 metres in 52.1. Just the Judge a touch more than a length in front of One and Only, who's keen for more rain. Dolnaya's 3/4 of a length away running third. Flinchier 3/4 of a length away fourth. Then Main Sequence followed by Hubstar, True Story. Then Sheikh Zayed Road, and 2 lengths away is Designs on Rome as they cast the 1,400 metres peg astern. And travelling down the back, Just the Judge ran 1,200 metres in 1:16.7. He's the pilot heading to the turn. Out of the back straight, he's still a length in front of One and Only. Dolnaya on the rail on the inside as they travel down the side of the course. Main Sequence is making his move now. He's edging closer. Then Flinchier followed by Hubstar. True Story, Sheikh Zayed Road, and Designs on Rome is still a length away and waiting with patience at the back of the field as they come through the mist with 500 metres left to go in the Dubai-UAE Classic. And Just the Judge turns for home in front of Dolnaya. One and Only, Flinchy at the inside. Main Sequence, Hubstar, Sheikh Zayed Road to the outside, and Designs on Rome is coming from last. Dolnaya hit the front at the 200 metres mark, led from Flinchier. Designs on Rome out wide, but Dolnaya's in front. Flinchier's trying hard. It's Dolnaya in front of Flinchier. It'll be a French 1-2 in the Dubai-UAE Classic. Dolnaya beat Flinchier. One and Only's lasted to run third in front of Designs on Rome. Sheikh Zayed Road, Just the Judge. Main Sequence, Hubstar, and True Story was last of all in the Dubai-UAE Classic, presented by Longines of 2015. Dolnaya, number 2, ridden by Christophe Soumillon, gives Christophe a winning double on Dubai World Cup night. It's a French 1-2. Flinchier has run second under Maxime Guillon. But in the end, Dolnaya has run out a very easy winner. One and Only has sat up on the pace and lasted to run third in front of Designs on Rome, who had to come from last. Sheikh Zayed Road, Main Sequence, Just the Judge was next. Hubstar finished a long way back in the end, and so did True Story. But Dolnaya, a filly, has won. A 4-year-old filly has won the Dubai-UAE Classic. Sheikh Mohammed went down to the running rail opposite the big screen, about 100 metres or a little more away from the finishing post. And by the time they got past the boss, Dolnaya was an absolute mile in front. By Azamor from Del Tama, a 4-year-old bay filly, raced by the Aga Khan, trained by Alain de Roy Dupre, and ridden by Christophe Soumillon, who's with Zoe.
On tonight's card, did this filly always travel well throughout the race?
Listen, I was a bit scared with that draw with her because usually when the gates open, she always stays in the gate for 1 or 2 seconds. Today I really prepare her and she jumps out very quick. I was really surprised to be in front so quick. So finally I was happy to find a leader. I was cruising behind him all the way. And also I was happy to see the horse on his outside stopping very early. So it gave me the chance to wait a bit more. But when I arrived at the screen, I saw Flinchier coming quite quick on my outside, so when I give her a few smacks, she just reacts well, so I'm very happy with what she did. I make a big effort with my weight to ride her and get paid, so it's good.
Go home and have some dinner. Well done.
Yeah, a little drink first.
Well, Dolnia proved again that she is the superior horse to Flincher. Really good performance there from the French contingent, and she travelled very, very well into it, Pat. I think you and I were both watching main sequence quite closely, but this filly becomes the 4th to land this race in 17 runnings. It's been a good one for the girls.
Surely it has. And this, to me, you know, Harpstar never lifted a hoof. Main sequence was
a lot more
strangely
than I
ridden.
expected.
Yes, the pace was not as slow as it would have been projected to have been, which is sometimes the case when you just put good horses on the racetrack. They're just faster. Although the only time they run this 24:10 is typically on the group race level. This is just very impressive, and you know, she's so unexposed now. 5 from 8 in her life, and the first thing I thought when they crossed the wire is Trev is going to have massive competition if she is going to try for a 3rd arc, because the horses that Dolnia just beat here, Flincher, Main Sequence, Designs on Rome, really top class.
Yeah, Designs on Rome has finished 4th in the end. Shakeside Road 5th. David Simcock will be happy with that, I think. He's picked up a large check. Judge the Judge, I thought, ran a stormer up there in the lead. She's finished 6th there, so a nice result for Qatar Racing. But all about Dolnia, her first success at the top level. And Christophe Simeon's having quite the night, isn't he?
Yeah, and this filly, she ran 5th last year in the ARC, but this is clearly an improvement over what we saw from her. I thought she had a really good trip in Longchamp that day where she plugged along. A lot of the horses she was passing had really wide trips. This is a 4-year-old who has very clearly improved for Alain de Royer Dupree, and shows that Shanty form maybe does hold up a little bit, huh?
Yeah, indeed. She's quite versatile as well, this filly. She's won on fast ground. She's also won on good to softs. So,
and if you want to talk about a professional jockey, I mean, we all could afford to shed a few pounds, some more than others, speaking of myself. But Christophe has been riding overweight pretty much all winter, has missed a lot of rides, and has really worked himself into tip-top form. Went back to France, was riding day in and day out, and knew that he had a lot of big ones coming up, and there's still another one coming, and Asia is still not on the board.
No.
And neither are the boys in blue, but Christophe Soumillon will have a chance with Japan Cup winner Epifania in the World Cup. That'd be quite the treble.
I'm not keen on Epifania, but we'll get on to that in a moment. I mean, you say, yeah, Christophe rides here in Dubai primarily because if he goes to Hong Kong or Japan, he has to ride at these lower weights, and it's not healthy for anyone, is it, to be below what their natural body weight is. He can do it for the big occasion, as he's proved here, getting down to 54.5.
He's an athlete, though, and he knew what Mobtahij was getting into, and you're staring at a jockey that, you know, barring something unforeseen, is going to have his first ride in the Kentucky Derby in just a couple of weeks. So
fascinating, won't it? Absolutely intriguing. Mike de Kock, no stranger to pulling off a big one, but that would be absolutely phenomenal if a South African trainer with a European horse that's won in Dubai can win a Kentucky Derby. Wow, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? That is Seth Benzel and his wife Joanna there, chatting with His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, as you do.
You do.
No runner this year for Seth, who's
taking a selfie.
Yeah. As you would. This filly, it's quite a lot of her, isn't there? Beautifully bred, as we said, by Azamor, out of a half-sister to Dalakani. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? And,
classic Aga Khan,
yeah,
right?
Isn't it?
I mean, they just are so committed to the game on so many levels and are highly deserving of this particular this win in all of them. So much success in Europe. I think of Zarkava as kind of really one of my favorites of all time. Just a tremendous filly. But this one, I think, has a bright future, beating this field in this fashion.
Yeah.
2 1/4 lengths. And the final time, Laura, like we said, just like the Dubai Turf, these are very comparable across seasons because the course condition is almost always the same. 2:28.29, just 1.04 seconds outside of the record set by Gentle Donna last year. And in terms of the pace of this race,
basically after the 1,600-meter split here, they were almost 3 full seconds inside of standard, that pace that was set by just the judge.
So a look at the closing stages. Again, main sequence. At this point, I thought, no, we've had it. And that did prove to be the case. One and Only's run well, but she's absolutely cruising, isn't she? The size of her, lovely shot there of the two fillies. But she's gone by just the judge as if she's standing still.
And given her attendance to the pace in particular, she was just behind just the judge there. Flincher had a perfect trip and every reason to come out and did not get her.
No. That was a really, very smooth run from him. I thought he was the winner at one stage. I thought, no, there's no chance he's going to catch Dolnia. So Steve makes a good point quite frequently on the winning line, that he's pleased there's no fillies and mares race on the Dubai World Cup card, because it means they take on the boys, and quite often they beat them.
Some would say that about, American racing is massive in terms of gender segregation in racing, and it's a function that we have so many horses, 45,000 races annually in America, that the segregation just becomes natural and accepted as part of racing. But when they do mix, and you get results like this, it's almost a disservice to not mix them together and see what you really have. And full credit to Alain de Royer Dupree. He was very keen on Cladicera. Maybe not this, things weren't going all that well. But Dolnia.
The quotes on Dolnia were a lot more positive, weren't they?
Positive and even positively cagey about how well he thought she was doing.
He's a superb trainer, Lane. He had plenty of success.
You see a lot of these are off the bridle. Harpstar never lifted a hoof in this race.
At least we got that right, Pat. We exploded that particular bubble beforehand.
I had all my wins when I wasn't on air, Laura, because I did well early in the season, early in the card. Designs on Rome outside here. Maybe they're going to realize that he is just a 10-furlong horse.
Yeah, I think that might be the case. Also, just the judge. I mean, I know she was up front and doing the hard work. She sort of has stayed, hasn't she?
Yeah, actually, One and Only, who's a horse that we kind of left out.
Yeah.
He went ahead and was mixing it up. He's only beaten 4 1/4 in the end, and actually finished ahead of Designs on Rome. So.
Designs on Rome main sequence, my big two here, but both disappointed behind this French domination. So we'll look at it from the start then. Dolnia was quite well away, One and Only there up front as well. Flincher, main sequence was slowly away, but we expected that, didn't we? That was no surprise.
Yeah, but he's the one there in the light blue or the navy blue with the dark blue cross sashes out the back there, in between horses with True Story and Harpstar, and in a tight spot here. And I'm thinking that he takes off on Rajiv Mirage, because it was uncharacteristic for him to be moving up and outside. And look, right there, he backs off of it. That's the race for main sequence at this point, because he's going to get main sequence outside, and he just takes off and says, see you later.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't ideal for him at all. At this stage, just judge stood up front. Dolnia, perfect run in the race in second. One and Only third. Flincher. True Story never really showed up as we expected. Shakeside Road, I said, he's run well. I think that's as good as he is, Shakeside Road.
Yeah, look, he was a handicap winner here last season, has had plenty of opportunity, not disgraced.
No, not disgraced.
It's just what he does.
At all. A bit disappointing from Davison Cox, had a run of Trade Storm and Casper Netcher, but this fellow's held up his end of the deal.
I'm almost wondering if Rajiv Mirage thought he was a lot closer to the winning post than he actually was. Kind of classic American. When you're leaving the back, you're like
a short run in. Do you think?
You think you're 600 from the finish when he's 1100.
And the first time he's been on this turf course.
Yeah,
that's interesting points.
I think that might have been it, because he just got way too much. We can go back and look at the Tracker sectionals. They'll be up on the Dubai Racing Club website and see what that internal movement was for main sequence. But you certainly didn't get enough out of them as you would have thought. Harpstar's position here, just to the inside of Sheikh Zayed Road. Just the judge kicks on, but look at how well Dolnia is traveling there. Oh, that's brilliant. One and Only will kind of come out naturally there. The gap opens as it does. Easy. Really easy here for Dolnia.
Yeah, it was a decisive success. You can't argue with that. The French are enjoying a fantastic evening here tonight at Meydan. Solo and now Dolnia picking up our two big turf races on the night, which means there's only one race to come. It is the $10 million Dubai World Cup. But before we move on to that, we're going to hear, I think, From winning trainer Alain Duroyer-Dupre, he's with Steve.
With Alain Duroyer-Dupre after the success of Dolnair, and she was awesome, wasn't she, Alain?
We know she's a great filly, and she's a beautiful pedigree. It's a main pedigree of Aga Khan breeding. It's a family of Delamy, Dalakani, and she has speed and she can stay. Because when she has a good race, she need pace, and she stay. And when she was a good position, I was very confident.
So given her pedigree, it's no surprise we're seeing the best of her now and maybe later on in the year as well.
Yeah, sure. They improve from the tree. At tree, she was good, but she don't understand she was so big. She's more than 500 kilo.
Many congratulations. It's a great success.
Thank you.
So the trophy presentation for our Longines Dubai Sheema Classic. Thank you to Longines, official timer here at Meydan, of course. A lovely trophy that is, and they'll get a watch as well. I love Longines watches, they're so classy. Can't afford one though, sadly. So it's been a good night for the French, been a good night for the Irish, for the British, for the UAE. Just need, we haven't had Godolphin, and we haven't had, we've had America, we haven't had Asia, so yeah. They're the ones, well, we have had Asia, we've had UAE, but we haven't had the Far East, so that's the missing cog in the wheel. Can Epiphania or Hoku Taramai win the Dubai World Cup? I don't think so.
I don't either, but we're going to have a couple minutes to talk about it.
Well, we are. We have a long time to talk about it, actually. Runners will be in the parade ring in around about 10 minutes' time for a big one. And there is Christoph. What a memorable evening he's had. He had a pretty good carnival, largely thanks to Clyde O'Cara picking up a couple of wins for him.
You win a $6 million race and a $2 million race on the same card. That's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be off back to Europe, of course. He's retained by the Aga Khan. So he'll be heading.
But as the legendary American football broadcaster Keith Jackson used to say, it's the granddaddy of them all. And it's up next.